Hi, welcome to Ken's Games Collection and my continuing countdown of my top 10 games of all time. Coming in at number 3 is Fantasy Star. I can't believe I'm doing this, but I am. And it's really funny because when I saw Johnny Millennium from the Happy Console Gamer do his top 10 games of all time, he put Fantasy Star at number 2 and Breath of the Wild at number 1, and I just couldn't believe that. I actually did a video on that. I just couldn't believe that Breath of the Wild was in at number 1 over this game, and here I am doing my top 10 games of all time, and it's coming in at number 3. So is it karma? I don't know, but look, I really did have to think long and hard about the list, especially the top 5 games, and this is the one that really was like, oh, where is it going to go, and what's my reasoning behind where it does go? Because this is it. This is my top 10 games of all time. It's not going to change anytime soon. And it's really amazing when you go back looking at what I've shown so far. There's not any real modern games in there. It's all stuff that goes back to the Master System, Mega Drive, all of that sort of stuff, the Saturn. And it's just incredible to see those old memories sort of being thrust forward in a top 10 video. But this is where it sits. It was a revolutionary RPG when it was released all those years ago. A female main character, that was unheard of back then. Most female characters were the damsels in distress. This one, Alice Layden, was actually the heroic female lead character in this game, avenging the death of her brother, which was another thing that I really liked about the story of this game, opposed to like The Legend of Zelda. It was too formulated, and this one was about revenge. That's all it's about, is revenge of the death of I think it's Neo, her brother, in this game. And that was really what grabbed me. And just looking at this game and seeing the influences from Star Wars, you got characters like Jawas, there's like laser swords in this game. It's very reminiscent to Star Wars, and I can see the team that worked on this game actually, they would have been really heavily influenced by A New Hope, especially that one. But what's really amazing about this game when I played it was those 3D dungeons, and to this day I think it's some of the best programming I've ever seen in an old retro video game. This was a Master System, the 8-bit consoles, and it was actually Yuki Naka who went on to do Sonic the Hedgehog, Nights into Dreams, and Balan Wonderworld, his latest creation. He was the lead programmer for those 3D pseudo dungeons, which was like, wow, it was just incredible seeing that. Everything about this game I absolutely loved. The characters and the way you have to go about getting these characters. To get to Odin, you had to have an axe to go into the forest. To get Noah, you needed, I think, it was something you needed, I think, to get to him. I think it was Meow that had it. So it was just a lot of stuff leading into this game, and what you had to do, it wasn't very linear. And when you start this game, you're just thrown in this crazy world with all these creatures trying to kill you, and they will kill you. You take a few steps and you get these random battles, which if you don't save after each battle, you're done for. And that's where I really thought that I was going to put this game down and probably sell it, but I didn't. I persevered with it, and it took me a long time to finish, probably about 6 months, because I got stuck up to a certain point. And it wasn't until the GamePro magazine, the hints and cheats guide, that I found the solution of how to finish this game. And that was like, wow, I didn't know that. It was so obscure how to do that. But this was a great game. Went on to do a lot of other games in this series, but to this one always holds a special place in my heart for the characters, because I spent 6 months with these characters, mapping out every single dungeon in this game by hand. The remake was on the Nintendo Switch. I played that. last year, and it had the dungeons where they were all mapped out as you walked through them, and it was like, oh man, that was so cool to be able to go back and replay that game, and also to replay it in the full stereo FM chip that was only in the Japanese master systems, and to hear that music for the first time, because what we played was very tinny and it was also running at a slower frame rate. So playing that game again on the Nintendo Switch, you know, the characters move a lot faster. It was easier to level up. You get more coins, but the music, hearing that music for the first time, it was really intended to be heard back in the day on the Japanese Master System, or the Mark III, I think it was. It was just something like, oh, it was just like playing the game for the first time. Like I said, there's been a lot of games in this series, but this one, to me, because of the characters, is where it holds a lot of nostalgia, I guess you could say. And you know, when Phantasy Star 2 was announced, I was so hoping that these characters would return, but they didn't. And I thought the series went off to a different path, which was okay. 2 and 4 I do enjoy, but 3 I wasn't really into. That was made by another team, but this one is coming at number 3 because it's a game that you can't replay all the time. I could play this once every 5 years maybe. I haven't played this until the remake on the Nintendo Switch, and that would have been about 27 years after I finished this game, or maybe even longer. And it was really yeah, I saw it on the Nintendo eShop and I was like, man, do I really want to go back into this world? Because I knew how grueling it was. It was a real dungeon crawler game with leveling up, so much leveling up in this game. But I took a chance, and they actually updated things to make it easier on a modern gamer. But you know, after all these years, it is a special game to me. My first JRPG, and probably one of the best RPGs ever made, and it is coming at number 3, and it's kind of hurting me saying that, but I think when you see what's coming at number 2 and 1, you'll have a better understanding why this is at number 3. Phantasy Star, a brilliant game, way ahead of its time. It even rivals some of the earlier Mega Drive games, I feel. But it is coming at number 3. It's there. I said it's done. So until next time, guys, bye.